back to my channel. I'm Lisa and this is Brunette Wig Place. Today I am bringing you a review of this wig, which is Hannah by Envy in the color medium brown. So Hannah by Envy is a human hair wig. I purchased this wig with my own funds. I purchased it on wigoutlet.com and I purchased it a while back, and I have been debating about whether or not I wanted to review it because I don't have all positive things to say about it, but I think it's important that I share the problems and the issues that I have had with this wig because it's important for you as wig wearers to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know. And, I think 98% of my reviews are always going to be positive, but if I've had a struggle with a wig, I want to share that with you because another thing about this wig, there aren't that many reviews about it, and that may have been a red flag that I missed with this particular wig. So Hannah by Envy. I've been, playing around a little bit with human hair wigs. It's been almost 2 years since I started wearing wigs. I think November the 2nd is my wigiversary. And so it has taken me about a year and a half to delve into human hair. I wanted to try it, but of course it's more expensive. I had concerns about how the hair is harvested, if it's done in an ethical way. What I found out about human hair and as far as how it's gathered and donated and all that kind of stuff is that it's very hard to trace where the hair comes from. I've read a lot of articles. It's just not disclosed where exactly the hair comes from. So we can tell by the texture of the hair. I think some buyers do know that they're buying it. They know where they're buying it from. If they're buying it from Asia, if they're buying it from India, if they're buying it from Europe. And that's usually disclosed. But there are some human hair wigs where nothing is really disclosed about where the hair comes from and what type of hair goes into it. And this is one of those wigs. And what I was looking for, am finding human hair really comfortable. So I was looking for a wig that I could wear kind of more around the house. It was a little more casual because my Ellen Villa wig is a more expensive piece. I want to try to save it as long as I can and keep it in great shape. So I was looking for something that was a little less expensive that I could, throw into updos and maybe, curl more and do more stuff too and things like that. And so I decided if I was going to just kind of try out a piece, I didn't want to pay full price, which is why I purchased it on Wig Outlet. And wigoutlet.com is the outlet and kind of return center for wigs.com, which both are completely legitimate sites. I've purchased from them before. I haven't had a problem with this particular piece. I went around and around a little with customer service. We just sort of had to agree to disagree on our opinions of this wig, and I just had to let it go. So, but it's not like it's unwearable, it's just that it's made poorly, and I wanted to address that to them because that was not disclosed at all in the ad, in the information for it. So let me dive into the things that I like and the things that I don't like. Okay, things that I like. I do like the way the hair feels, and it has finally quit shedding. One thing I did not like is the fact that this wig shed like crazy. I thought all the hair was gonna come out of the wig. And when I first got it, I made a couple of mistakes. So it came with lace, that went all the way down and wrapped around the ear tabs. I haven't seen lace like that before. And I should not have cut the lace. I looked at the hair. This is why I cut the lace. I looked at the hair and I thought the hair was dry. And I knew that this was a style that had been around for a while. And I thought, maybe it's been in a box for a really long time and the hair's dried out and it just needs some shampooing and conditioning. So I shampooed it and I conditioned it. And once I had done that, I was like, well, I guess it's mine because I messed with it and you can't, not really supposed to return it after that. And so I went ahead and cut the lace. But when I cut the lace at the time, I was really thinking, I hadn't noticed. Let me backtrack. Here's what you need to do. Before you cut that lace, I want you to super inspect the wig. Because as I started working with the wig, after I had cut the lace, after I had washed and conditioned it, I washed it and conditioned it and noticed that the hair improved some. I mean, the shine kind of came back in it and it looked better. But the things that I could not improve are things that I wish that I had noticed. And if I had noticed those at the very beginning, I would have returned it. Because those are those things that I think are quality issues with it. So one big quality issue is it's thick in some places and it's ridiculously thin in some places. Thin to the point that I'm afraid the cap's gonna show, particularly up here on the crown. It is just thin up here. But then you get over here to this part and it's thick. Look at all this hair. It's crazy. And then back here, when you get away from the crown and you get down here, again, it gets thick again. And then when you're over here on this side, it's kind of thin, although it's not too thin. But on this side, the issue that it has is this, where the lace went, the lace front goes back about like maybe half my finger there back. And at that point, well, the way the hair is put in, you kind of get like a little cowlick. And some of this hair wants to come forward and some of it wants to go back. And that's just the way the hair is put in the wig. And another thing about the way the hair is put in the wig is I can't change this part. I have tried to change this part. I got it wet. I tried to change it. I can't change it. Like all the, I don't know. I don't know if you can see that. The hair is like sewn in this direction. So when I try to change it, it just doesn't, it's just not working for me. I'm gonna have to try to work on that more and report back, I guess. But so far, I have not been able to get this wig to part any other way. And that's even after, like I said, I washed it, conditioned it, it was wet, wringing wet. I tried to move the part and I couldn't get the part to move. So that was frustrating. So anyway, and I'm glad it's finally quit shedding because that was what I thought was going to be one of the major issues. So here's the deal with how they described the hair on this wig. In the past, like on my Ellen Villa piece, it says that it is European human hair. On the mood wig that I reviewed from Uniwigs, it said that it was virgin Remy human hair. And that's talking about the way the cuticle goes and everything. The only description on this was that it's human hair, okay? So when it was shedding really badly, and when I really went in and looked at the way it's hand tied in, there's a lot of different types of hair. Now that's not unusual. John Renault uses, I think, Asian and Indian hair on their wigs. That's not unusual. But so there's a thick hair and a couple of different fine hairs on this. And honestly, when I first got it, before I worked with it some, the hair looked like dead ends. It looked like, somebody went in and donated their hair, but the hair was just dead on the ends. Now, I didn't cut it at all. I think the conditioning really helped. But the more I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, this hair looks really bad. So, and then the coloring that's on it, it didn't tell me whether that's been colored or if that's just the different color hairs. It looks like it's different color hairs that were put in it, but it's not bad. It just gives it kind of a highlighted appearance, which is pretty, So their description of this color, this medium brown, is actually a chocolate brown with natural lowlights and highlights. So I think that's what they did. I think they used 3 different hair colors and put that in. But like I said, there was no description to let me know what they did with it, so I really don't know. So here's one major place I don't like things. The lace front, like I said, the lace is thick. But the weird thing is, I don't like it when I look at it up close. But then when I am just wearing it, I'm like, it actually looks pretty natural. So I can't complain too much about the lace front anymore. I'm realizing it looks pretty natural. The part, you know, looks pretty natural too. The lace is kind of thick and kind of scratchy. I have to be honest about that. And then, like I said, when it comes, the lace goes all the way down around these ear tabs, and I can't pull the hair back because these ear tabs have this silicone on it that's, you know, supposed to help it stick to your head, but you can see it. It looks like plastic. I don't like that. So again, a quality issue that I don't like. I'll pop her off and show you the inside of her cap. So her cap has no adjusters. That's kind of weird. That's not something I've seen before. But I think it's because, like I said, this is a wig that's been out for a while, and maybe they weren't putting adjusters in back then. I don't know. She has a silicone strip back here, which is kind of nice. With my not having any hair back here, it does hold the cap in place nicely. She is fully hand tied. Her ear tabs, like I said, the ear tab is kind of lace, and then it has this little piece of this silicone that's supposed to help it stick to your head, but I don't really find that it does that. And I don't know. I've been debating if I want to remove that and just leave the lace there, but I'm afraid I'll mess it up, and I don't want to do that. So, and then she has the lace front and the full mono top, just a single mono top. But the lace front, like I said, is not bad. I wanted to show you what I'm talking about this thinness. I don't know if I can get it on camera. I can feel it with my, you know, with my hand. Do you see how there's, in some places, it just, I don't know if it's because it was shedding so much that hair just fell out. But when I look at it on my head, I don't see any places, you know, where it's too bad. So it's, again, I can live with it. It's not the end of the world. But you know, when I compare it to more expensive pieces, retail on this is $722, I think, if you buy it new. And I've seen mixed reviews on it. I've seen women who love it, and I've seen women who noticed some quality issues the way I did. Now, of course, I can only speak to this piece that's on my head. Somebody else out there might have this wig and they don't have these thin areas. You know, maybe I just got one that had some thin areas on it. I don't know, you know. But anyway, so I can only speak, every time I speak about these wigs, I can only speak as to the piece that is on my head. And as we know, when we talk about wigs, oftentimes we do see differences in these wigs from person to person and wig to wig, you know. So anyway, you know, like I said, she's not terrible. She is comfortable. The lace gets a little itchy, I have to say. I've been having to make sure that my wig cap is pulled down so that that lace is not resting right on my forehead all the time, because it does get, it's just a thicker, stiffer lace, and it gets kind of itchy in there. I have been, you know, styling her with all your standard. I'm comfortable pulling her off my face, because she kind of has some little baby hairs. There were bigger baby hairs, and I went through and thinned them out a little bit with my thinning shears, you know, so they look a little more natural. So I'm more happy with that. The one thing I just really don't like is I don't like these ear tabs, because when I pull it back, I just don't think it looks very, especially this side, it just doesn't look very realistic. So if I do decide to pull it back, I'm gonna have to make sure I camouflage that with some of these layers, you know, just pull down that layer in front of it, and then it's not too bad. So, you know, not bad. But anyway, I just wanna be honest with y'all about these. If I get a wig that's got issues, I want to pass that on to you, because I don't want you to go out and buy it and say, my wig has issues. I'm like, yeah, so did mine. I just didn't tell you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I'm doing these wig reviews. I want to be honest with you, you know, and I mean, I find wig reviewers to be honest. You know, I'm not saying I see dishonest wig reviews. I really have found the wig reviewers that I trust to be honest about these pieces. So anyway, we can walk outside and we can look at this color outside, and then that'll probably about do it. So let's take her outside and take a look. Okay, well, I brought her outside and it is actually raining. I didn't know it had started raining. So we'll try to get somewhere here where we have pretty good light. But so you can see, you know, she's just a highlighted medium brown. I actually like the color. Color's natural, it's very pretty on her. You know, in the light without getting rained on. So it's pretty, but just like I said, it's got a medium brown and a highlight and a low light in it. So oh, it's starting to come down. Better go back. Okay, so we are back inside out of the rain with Hannah by Envy. So I think I've pretty much covered everything about her. You know, just my words of advice to you when you're buying a wig is inspect, inspect, inspect. I don't hate the fact that I ended up having to keep her because of the things that I did to her. I was a little mad at myself about it, like, you know, week ago or so, but I've come to terms with it. Longer than a week, I've had it longer than that. But you know, that I do caution you, and I want you to really, really look these pieces over, and do not cut that lace until you know for sure, absolutely, without a doubt. And because this lace is a little itchy, I would even advise wear it around with that lace flap, you know, in your face. Wear it around your house for a while, see if you get any itching. Hold it up to the light and see if you see thin places, and see if that feels like something that is going to be a deal breaker for you or not. You know, I ended up paying about 50% off for her, which I think is a reasonable price because I got her on the outlet site. She is going to be a good one for me to just wear around the house and, you know, tootle around in and stuff. I can throw a hat over her. She's low enough density, you know. And she's not terrible. She's just not perfect. And, you know, when you spend the money that we spend on this hair, you do kind of have a level of, you know, nothing's going to be perfect, obviously, but you do have standards, and she's just a little substandard to what I would prefer. So anyway, these are my opinions on Hannah by Envy in the color medium brown. Thank you so much for watching today. I will see you next time. Until then, don't forget, you're absolutely beautiful. Thanks. Bye.